Hey guys, my name is Girish Bali, your host for today for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics in Back to Basics. Is that what does that make sense? I hope so. Well, anyway, so today we have a guest. She's a life coach. She understands people. I hope she understands people because she understands me well. So that's a win-win situation. So we are going to be talking to Nancy today. She's a life coach. She understands fear. She understands bigger, better, and braver. What does that mean? Well, we'll get into the show. We'll talk about the bigger, better, and braver and the fear aspect of it. And let's bring her in. Nancy, how are you? And thank you for coming to Back to Basics.
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. I mean, I've spoken to you several times on Clubhouse, and it seems like you're a great person to chat with. And I said, let me rope you into my show. But thank you again for coming.
Thanks. It was my pleasure. You didn't rope me.
So before we get into the basics of bigger, better, and braver and fear, what is Back to Basic mean to you?
Just getting down to who you are, actually. You know, we all get lost in what we think we should be and trying to make ourselves digestible to other people. So getting back to basics is really just getting down to you, who you are, without the frills, without the masks, and just being you.
Yeah, sometimes we tend to forget the basic stuff of life, and I think Back to Basics is all about simplicity, about basic, about getting to the root cause or root item or root topic in general. So you understand that and what I stand for, what Back to Basics stands for. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Nancy, let's explain to people, what is bigger, better, and braver? What is that? That is a book.
So that's the name of my book.
Yes.
And it's also my process. So I believe that to live a better life and to live a bigger life, you have to step out of your comfort zone and you have to be braver. So bigger, better, braver.
Yeah.
And it's all about recognizing that you will never get into a fearless state. So waiting to be in a fearless state is waiting your whole life.
Yeah.
And so I help my clients understand their fears, have compassion for their fears, and move forward anyway.
So what happened? I mean, did you just wake up in the morning and you're going to create 3 Bs of your life? Or was there a process that you actually, because, it's a really cool name if you think about it. So it must have taken you a while to figure out what name you wanted for your book.
Well, so that's a story all in itself. So the book was actually easy to write because I'm a coach and I took my process and how I work with other clients and made it into a book that was really my personal journey and those of my clients, so that you would understand, because I coach by example. So I use me as a guinea pig and to help you understand where it is in your life that you are playing small, or what your shadow beliefs are, or your underlying commitments, all of those things that are in your subconscious. But I could not come up with a title for the book. And I also, at the beginning of my story, was that I was turning 60 and I wanted to do something that would prove to myself that I still had it. Like it was just a number. I wasn't like ready for the grave. And I decided to go train and climb Mount Kilimanjaro, which is 19,341 feet up in Africa. So that was a big to-do for me. And I did it. I was really successful. I loved it. And at first I thought, well, maybe my book will be called What's Your Kilimanjaro? How do you do something? How do you step out of your comfort zone and do something? You don't have to climb a mountain, but whatever it is, what's your Kilimanjaro? And people would say to me, well, only people who want to climb Kilimanjaro will ever even look at that book. So that can't be what you're going to do. And I couldn't come up with the name of my book. And I had like a few advisors, my boyfriend and a couple other people. I had a girlfriend who was a big New York book agent. And I throw out all these names, and they'd say, just put it on a list, just put it on a list. And then finally they said, you know what? Stop thinking about it. Just forget about it for a month or two. You got a lot of time. Just let it go. And then all of a sudden at 2:00 in the morning, one night, I woke up in bed and I turned to my boyfriend and I said, bigger, better, braver. And just like that, not only was that it was a universe, it was a download from the universe, but everybody loved it. Like it was just, that was it. And I'm thinking, of course, everyone loved it because it wasn't mine. It came from the universe.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah. Sometimes, I've actually listened to other authors, on YouTube and other podcasts and all that stuff. Uh, Mostly 90% of the authors that I've listened to, they actually said, you know what, writing a book is easier, just title is a little tough. And when it comes to you, it'll come as a bulldozer and that's it. So I think
That's what happened.
I think that's your bulldozer moment, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I
I
should
had
say,
a lot of universal hits with the book. I had
yeah,
a lot of knowing that I was doing the right thing, that
yeah,
this is what the universe wanted for me and for the world, actually.
yeah,
And so that was one of them.
yeah. Well, that's great. It seems like that's your best back to basic moment for you, just to get that title. I think that's what it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
So there are four things that I realized when I was skimming through, your title and the skimming through the pages. It seems like there's something called uncover your vision. Can you explain the uncover of your vision and planning your leap and understanding the faith and fear? Can you explain all those processes for me?
Yes, I can. So we all have a vision that our soul wants for us, not our mind, because our mind is run by our ego, which is all about what we should be doing, what people think we should be doing. It's not like what our soul wants for us. And so I take my clients through a meditative process to get out of their head and into their heart and to see what it is that their soul wants for them. And I do it like in a life wheel, all the different parts of your life: spirituality, career, finances, home, relationships, family, environment, adventure and fun, passion, all these different areas. And one by one, I ask you questions to see, like, your vision is the big picture. It's the feel good. It doesn't even have to be based in reality. It's like, if you could, like, I could tell you that I want to be a movie star. And if that's my vision, if that's what my heart wants for me, then if I stay in alignment and I only do action steps that are in alignment with the trajectory of that,
Yeah.
I'm going to get there, or I'm going to get somewhere else that I never would have been before and realize, oh, wait, I don't want to be a movie star. I want to be this, but I never would have known about this if I hadn't taken those first 3 steps in. So that's the vision. Once you're clear on what your vision is, then I help you look at what your excuses are in your life for what the discrepancy is between what your vision is and where you are. And when I help you realize what those excuses are, so you recognize them and you see them and you hear them for what they are, and you get out of resistance and you actually accept and surrender to where you are right now. This is your starting point. And I help you take action steps that will get you there. That's how you get there. And usually there's fear involved. And there's beliefs about yourself. I'm not good enough. I need to stay small to be safe. My voice doesn't matter. I have to please everyone to be safe. If I do something like that, I won't be loved. Like, we all have these beliefs from our childhood that actually keep us playing safe. They were formed when we were children to keep us safe, and they did keep us safe, but they, as an adult, they no longer keep us safe. They only keep us playing small.
So Nancy, I think what I'm getting at is that what you say is very important, meaning your mindset needs to change, your wordings need to change. You instead of saying I can't do it, you should say I'll try to do it. Is that the right way?
I don't even like try. Like if I had a client yesterday, a brand new client, and I tell them how if you hire a coach,
Mm-hmm.
you have to stay whatever you tell me you're going to be doing as your action steps that week, and I agree that those are doable action steps,
Yeah.
and you could do them, you must follow through. Because if you don't follow through, then you're letting your ego sabotage you in your old ways, and
Mm.
then you might as well not hire me.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money.
Yeah.
So at the end of our first session, he would say to me, all right, so I'm going to try to do this. And I'm like, no, you have to do it. Like trying is not good enough.
Yeah.
Like don't choose that action step if you can only try.
So
If you
then,
can commit to it.
So then what is the right word? Instead of saying can't and will try, what
I'm going to
other
do that. I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
do
do it.
that this week. Yeah, I'm going to do it this week.
Yeah. Because I
And
think
I go ahead.
no, go ahead, please. Please.
Oh, I keep the action small. I won't allow somebody who, wants to lose 10 pounds and hasn't exercised in 5 years. I won't let them sign up for 7 days a week of exercise.
Right.
I'd rather say you're going to do 3 times for 30 minutes and you end up doing 4 than tell me you're going to do 5 and you do 4. Like it's not the number, it's being accountable.
Yeah. Because you know what,
People are not accountable.
because you're cheating yourself technically.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. You want to get that when you're saying that you're going to do 5, but you're going to do 4 and then 3. So
yeah.
So be truthful saying that I will do it as opposed to 5. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that if you want to love yourself, you have to go back to basics and learn to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And the only way to trust yourself is to follow through with whatever you promise yourself.
Yeah.
We are really good at making promises with other people and keeping them.
Yeah.
We are really bad at making promises with ourselves and keeping them.
Yeah.
Half the time we don't even remember what we told ourselves we were going to do.
That's true. That's true.
So I'm your accountability partner when you hire me, because you're afraid to show up and not have done it in the beginning. But eventually you actually show up for yourself. And that's my job.
So
if I can teach you that.
So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Nancy. So what does it mean by planning your leap? Is it like, is leap the same thing as understanding what the faith is?
No, planning your leap is planning your jump. Like, what is it? What's your Kilimanjaro, right? So let's say you want a new job and you want to get out of your job. Yeah. Well, planning to leave your job or planning a new job, that would be your leap. I want to get into a relationship. Planning, doing all the work to become the partner you want to be, because that's part of how you find a partner, is you first have to become that person. All of that. So it's all of the work to get ready. So your ducks are in a row, basically. Planning your leap is getting your ducks in a row. Yeah. Learning, getting the education, figuring out what you need to do, getting all that set. So you're not like Peter Pan and you're just flying into the air. You actually know what you're doing and you have a safety net, and then you leap. Yeah.
So and what about understanding faith? What does faith have to do with all this now?
Yeah, that's like the song, what does love have to do with this?
Yeah, exactly.
So what faith has to do with it is that faith is how you get out of your fear. So when you can have faith that the universe has your back and that everything happens for you and not to you, and that even if you fail or you fall forward. Yeah. There are lessons and gifts in everything you do. And you have to have faith that whatever happens is supposed to happen. So when I fail at something, I pick myself up. I might have a 24 hours of feeling really badly. And then I look for the lessons. Yeah. What happened here that I can learn from so that I do better next time. So failure is just a stepping stone on the way. And you must have faith that the universe has your back for you to actually move forward and not
So Nancy, there are a few guests came on my show, and most of them they've actually said, you know what, instead of saying failure, I think we should say step back instead of saying failure. Because if you say failure, it'll come into your mind, and you're like, you know what, I can't do this. That's what people think when you say failure.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing for you?
Yeah.
That resonates
Yes.
the same way?
Exactly. I mean, if I fail at something, I'm human, so I can feel bad about it, but
Yeah.
I never let it stop me.
Yeah.
I just figure it out. What do I need to do differently? I might ask for help, so somebody other than me who's further along in the journey can help me with what I didn't do as well as I could have. How can I do it differently? And I get right back on the horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and fear. Fear means, I mean, exactly what fear means, right? I mean, does that mean that I don't say a few things to other people, or do I not do bungee jumping, or what does fear mean to you when I say fear?
Fear for me, I mean, there's different kinds of fear. I wouldn't go bungee jumping, but that doesn't mean that I don't move beyond my fears.
Yeah,
I actually love the feeling of like the imposter syndrome or feeling a little afraid of stepping into something. For me, that is now a sign that I must. If I can't, I must. If I feel afraid, I have to go because I know that my growth is on the other side of that. Like if I don't think I'm big enough to do something, I will be big enough the moment I step into it.
yeah.
So for me, fear has become a sign of, come on, girl, let's go.
Hmm. So it's almost like saying key is the change and let go of the fear.
Let go of the fear, have compassion for it. It's we're human,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
us. We're human.
yeah,
Do not let it hold you back. Like I feel really compassionate for people who are basically sitting on the couch of their life and all they have to do is step in. All of the drama and all of the angst and all of the worry stops the moment they take action and they step in.
yeah.
And the way you feel about yourself when you do something that you were afraid to do
Oh,
is
exactly.
so amazing. You have so much energy around it. You feel so much better about yourself just from stepping in. Like, so the juice is really in the journey. It's not the end game. It's
Yeah.
not whether you're successful or not. It's how brave were you? Could you move forward even in fear?
Yeah, yeah. Nancy, after all the years that you have done, I think this life coaching has come secondhand for you, because it seems like you have had so much of experience with a lot of different clients of yours, and you put this into a beautiful book that you came into. Uh, what is Nancy for the next 5 more years or 10 more years? Because you have done so much, it looks like.
Well, I'm building courses now. I've got a course that's coming out on Gen Connect You and on LinkedIn Learning. So that's like another evolution. Let's see what happens with Clubhouse. I don't really know where that's going to go. There is possibly another book inside me on Bigger, Better, Braver for teens. I'm not really sure. I don't really know, but that's in the talking part. And I just keep on letting the universe open up to me, and I continue to say yes. So I don't need to know. I just need to know that I'm going to keep going and say yes and keep growing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no stopping you now. I mean, you can come up with bigger, better, and 2.0. Just the second
Right.
version of that, or you can just
Yeah.
make a series of it, just like the chicken soup series. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it'll be nice, Nancy, to
Check.
have you back again and back to basics regarding your second book and what that journey was all about. Hopefully, I'll be honored if you contact me and let me know about that. But it would be great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
Nancy,
If
any
I get
last,
there, I will.
yes, thank you so much. So any last words before I let you go from Back to Basics?
I would just say, please step out of fear, step out of your comfort zone. Your life really is on the other side of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nancy,
That's really it.
thank you, Nancy, for coming on my show. It's definitely an honor of you coming on my show and making my show brighter, and I'm definitely honored for that. But thank you again for your
Thank
time,
you.
your patience. Thank you again. So, guys, we spoke with Nancy today. We talked about the basics of life, and we talked about what else did we talk about? We talked about fear. We talked about bigger, better, and better. Well, that's what I'm going to call it. But you know what? It's one thing about fear and one thing about change. So here's a comment, and here's actually a quote of the day, as Back to Basics always has. So here's a quote. The quote is, the key to change is to let go of fear. And that's what Nancy said in different words, but that's what she said. Now it's all about letting go of fear, letting go of phobia, letting go of any of the stuff that is holding you back down. The only thing that's going to come up is you. That's all I'm saying. So, guys, as always, as usual, at the end of the episode, what do I always say? Remember, everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did. Now, keep on commenting to me. Either way, good, bad, ugly, either way, it'll make my show stronger day by day, week by week. And I'll give you quality guests, quality host, and quality content as usual. Guys, take care. God bless, and I'll see you next week. Next week's episode on Back to Basics.
My heart and my essence, it's really both. I really truly believe that spirituality, however you want to look at that, whatever that means to you, is such a vital component towards our growth and our being and our essence as humans.
Yeah.
Especially with mindset. Mindset is definitely also a component of cleansing, of habits, of viewing, of thought process. Really, like everything you do is up to you in terms of how you want to interpret it.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to do, and no one could do that 24/7. No one could be perfect.